It was an interesting journey, and after a 17-year career with a multinational company and several moves with my family to the Midwest and the Northeast, we really came to a point in my career where my career was going fantastic. The W-2 was growing more than I could have ever imagined, and we really had to take time as a family to say, hey, we need a different path in our family life. And so as we were looking at some different things, I started networking with some folks back in Nashville, and at the suggestion of a mutual friend, I was encouraged to meet with Steve Hayes, who's the senior partner with the Human Capital Group. And initially I met with Steve to help me find my next executive level job, and little did I know after our 30-minute meeting together that it would eventually lead to me joining Steve's team. I can remember from the first time I met with Steve, after I left and I was heading back on the flight to Philadelphia, I called my wife and said, hey, I met a really interesting company today, and I don't know if they can help me find my next career, but I could see myself working for that team. There was something different about the Human Capital Group. And so what initially drew me to the team was just the uniqueness of the model and really taking the time to serve others, which was pretty unique, I thought. So ironically, I sent Steve a thank you note, and a day later he sent me a note back, and as Steve always has a good way of doing, he said, hey, I want to plant a seed. If you would ever consider joining my team, I think you'd be great at what we do, but I have to warn you, I can't pay you what you were making before initially. It's hard work, there's lots of risk. And so Steve and I began really about a 2-month journey together. No questions were off limits both ways, and so I really had a chance to get to know Steve better, the Human Capital Group, and he took the time to get to know me better and my family better. He interviewed my wife as part of the process to make sure that she was fully on board with this, because what we do, it is a rewarding job. It's very difficult because you're building trust with people, and that takes lots of time. So this is not something for somebody to get into thinking you're going to make a quick buck. It is a long journey, but it's rewarding. And everything that we do doesn't always show up on the balance sheet. We serve lots of different folks from lots of different walks of life, which is really what makes it interesting for me, is the ability to serve others. In our world, especially in the recruiting world, we are paid to put people in seats, but we also forget that there's candidates that are in transition or maybe thinking about making their next career move, and it's not common in this industry where firms will take the time to meet with folks. And so that was something that was unique for me. I hadn't seen that in my professional career as I was working with recruiters, and then as I was transitioning into a new role. And so just that initial time that I spent with Steve was really impactful. And then as I went and dug deeper into the Human Capital Group and the website and the videos, it just really struck a chord with me. And it was almost like it was too good to be true, right? And I think our clients tend to think that way about us sometimes when we share our model with them. And so that what I really appreciated about Steve was opening up everything about the firm and letting me ask any question that I wanted and really digging into the results. And it wasn't too good to be true. What he was telling me was indeed true, and the results the firm had put together over that time, and then really carrying out that mission of serving others. That was evident because he showed it to me first, and then I've seen it during my time here in spades.